Hi guys, now this should be a fairly new site to all of you. Well, maybe not a new site, maybe more just nostalgia, maybe. As you can see, I'm in Windows at the moment. I've just thought I'd do this video within the Windows environment. It's not going to be the only video I'm going to do within the Windows environment, but as you'd be aware, those of you that have actually been following me for a while, following my channel, my videos for a while, which is probably very few or next to none at the moment, unfortunately. Well, excuse me. Well, as I say, I started off. You know, those of you that have been following me, you know I started off basically within the Windows 7 environment. However, I did play around with plenty of Linux distributions, as you well know, because Windows 7, like I've said in the past, is the best Windows release so far, I think. Windows 7 is definitely the best release so far, and I just, I was happy with it. I'm still, to some extent, happy with it. However, I played around with Linux distributions and stuff, and I did prefer Linux because, I'm not going to lie, I've always told it straight, and I'll continue to tell it straight to you. I'm not the world's biggest Windows fan. I'm not a Windows hater. I'm not a fanboy either. And let me just say, granted, I've not been within Windows for a little bit, but this is one of the reasons why I dislike Windows as well. Just so many updates, but it's the leading operating system, so I'm going to quit some slack. Anyway, it's not because I'm a Mac fanboy or anything else, that I'm not the biggest fan of Windows. I just, because if you've been following me, I've used a lot of Linux distributions. I've tried to migrate full time to Linux. Basically to have an alternative to Windows. Like I've said, I'm repeating myself, but Windows 7, they do seem to be doing it a little better. But when I'm saying I'm not the biggest fan of Windows, I'm not saying I dislike it, I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying that there are other operating systems out there that I prefer to Windows. Ubuntu Linux, maybe Linux Mint even, Kubuntu Linux, Fedora I'm not too sure about, PC Linux OS, hell, even Puppy Linux for slower machines, and of course Mac OS X. Mac OS X being my favourite, but then there's all them others as well. However, that being said, you've seen me do a lot of videos in Windows 7. On my, you can find them on my account if you haven't seen them. I've spent a lot of time with Windows, and I don't hate Windows. And I do really respect Windows 7. I do think, they finally started getting it right. However, there's the whole controversy. Well, they started getting it right by copying features from Mac OS X. Well, the features, I can tell you for now, Linux, OS X, and Windows all share some similar features. Who ripped off who? Now, I do think researching some of the dates and stuff, I do think basically Windows do seem to come in there a little bit late, and it does kind of add to the suggestion that they've been copying and stuff. And also, just with this taskbar, I'm sorry, but you can't blame people for accusing Windows, Microsoft with Windows 7, of being a Mac copycat with this taskbar, because I'm sorry, as I say, I thought so before I'd even touched, before I'd even actually touched a Mac. Okay, I've got a boot camp update there. I'll probably install that after I'm done with this. But for now, you're getting sent to the bottom there. Yeah, I'm not editing that out. There's just already been always too many mistakes I'm going to have to edit on this. As I say, everything seems to be working against me when I finally decide to make a new video. But, like I've said before, no time constraints or restrictions now. So, I'll allow myself time to regather my footing, or, go off on a tangent if I'm distracted or whatever. However, as I was saying, I was talking about the bar at the bottom here, the new Windows 7 taskbar, which I believe they called the Super Bar. I am sorry. I know, this can be, I know this is going to piss off a lot of my viewers that might be Windows PC users. This piss off a lot of my friends who are Windows PC users or whatever. As I say, if they decide to watch this, and I know this would piss off a few Windows PC users in general, but I'm sorry, you cannot blame people for thinking that they were, for calling them Mac copycats with this bar. Because I'm sorry, call it what you like. This part, all of this, forget that for a second. Forget that for a second. All of this blank space, stuff. All of this, pretty much, remove them, remove that, all of it. It's a dock now. It was something a little different before. Granted, pretty much the same as KDE, but I think Windows was there before KDE at least. As I say, and I'm not sure if Windows 95 was before KDE, but I know that's when they started the taskbar, and basically, that was something of their own. That was the taskbar. Now, I like what they've done with this. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sorry, you can't deny it's a dock. It is a dock. I thought that before I even started using, Mac, before I even converted to Macs. So don't, blame this on me suddenly being a Apple or Mac fanboy. Please don't. There's things with the Mac and stuff that, I'm not, that I'm willing to say aren't, that good and stuff. There are downsides and negatives I can mention. But yeah, this, I'm sorry, it's a dock. And with these previews and the likes, when you have one window open, it's still different. But if you have multiple windows open, let's see if I can give an example here. There we go, I'll just do 3. I don't want to do too many because I don't want to pressure this, because I'm screen recording and I'm using Parallels for this at the moment. This is my boot camp partition, but I'm in Parallels. I could have rebooted into the boot camp partition and run Windows natively and got way more speed. The only issue with that is I don't have any screen recorder installed in Windows, because Windows I have installed for pretty much 2 purposes and 2 purposes only. The first and the main one being, because at the end of the day this is my computer, so this is for my use. The first one being well, as you can see with a lot of desktop stuff here, ignore that fraps and stuff. That was my attempt at getting started with LPs, but I'm going to wait till I get hold of a capture card now. But as you can see here, you know, pretty much the main reason was for games. You know, for gaming, as I say, because, you know, no one can argue. As I say, gaming is best. I mean, computer gaming, not console gaming, but gaming on computer, you know, is best on Windows. Now, I'm not saying because Windows is better at gaming, and you can't say that, I'm sorry. You know, any Windows fanboys out there or whatever, you can't say Windows is better at gaming. Windows has more games, yeah, for it, and it runs on games better because the developers develop for Windows, because that's where they'll make the most money, because it's a prime, you know, operating system that most people use. You know, and then some for Mac, you know, some are done for Mac as well, you know, are ported to Mac because it's the second most common operating system. But the developers get lazy. The developers get lazy when it comes to Mac ports, and unless they make games specifically made for Mac, you know, if there's Windows versions of them, and then, you know, Mac versions, basically, the Mac versions, they're just using compatibility layers, and pretty much it's like playing a game through wine, pretty much. Other than, you know, it's like, you know, a souped up wine, you know, wine on steroids, you know, it's, you know, your games are guaranteed to work, you know, almost without a hitch. You might get a slight performance hit, but you have still got executable files, Windows executable files buried in there. It is still the Windows coded game. They just throw the compatibility layer on top of that, which to me is very lazy. But, you know, as I say, you know, I use, yeah, the primary reason I use Windows still is for gaming. Secondary reason is for the sake of reviews, and basically providing you with Windows video content as well, so it's not all one-sided. As I say, which would be a little unfair, I feel. As I say, and I don't want people to start thinking, you know, that suddenly now I have a Mac, I'm a Mac or an Apple fanboy. As I say, because I'm not. I just use what works best for me, as I say, and what I tend to prefer at the moment. Anyway, that out of the way. Back to this Superbar dock. As I say, it is a dock, but now I've opened these windows as well. Let me just show you this. Something else to add to the argument. You know, did Windows copy the Mac? I'm not saying they did. I'm not accusing either way, but I'm saying you can see where the critics will think this. Let's hover over this now we have these windows open. Look at that, it spreads them in a preview side by side like that. I wonder what that reminds us of. I'm sorry, but since I started using the Mac, I can see it does bear some similarity to Expose. Personally, I prefer Expose, I prefer the way that's done, but this is done very well and very clever as well, and I also love how you hover over it and it will show a full window preview. I do love that. You know, as I say, I'm very happy with that, and I do think it's a much better way of doing it than how they were doing it before. But you can't help but wonder. Now I know what some people might say as well. Well, Quick Launch is just a modified from the Quick Launch. Yeah, you did have icons basically docked to one portion of your taskbar before. If you click on it, it would launch the program. As I say, and I've combined Quick Launch with your little running tabs here, as I say, which seems to have worked, but I am sorry, it has changed it into a dock highly resembling OS X's dock. Because pretty much when they had the quick launch was pretty much a miniature dock. But now, you know, it's pretty much, it's a full-fledged dock. Now, I don't have many softwares to show you on here because, as I say, I use this mainly for games. I've not installed any extra web browser on here because I don't spend too much time in the web on here. So at the moment it's just the default Internet Explorer, which by default loads up maximize window full screen, which I seriously do not get. Oh, it's the first time running it as well. Well, there we go, that's a lot better. Fucking hell, Flashlands, Canal and stuff. Sorry, pardon my French, but you know, even though it's just one ad there, the ads, you know, the flash ads and the likes really kind of stand out to me now, because I use a lot of ad blocking software and the likes. You know, I use a lot of ad blocking software and the likes, as I say, and you know, it's not so much, you know, if it's just the occasional small text ad and stuff, I don't mind. But when you're having large, obtrusive flash or banner ads like that, it's taking up page load time, it's taking up your system resources, especially if it's a flash object like that. It's using flash, it's taking up your system resources that, you know, you've paid for your computer and stuff, your system resources and stuff, you do own that, as I say, and they're basically leeching off it then. And if they can leech off that, then surely we can leech off them. So, you know, yeah, I do use ad blocks, as I say. I mean, you know, so I run my own website and stuff, and yeah, it's just, you know, a personal project. It's just to say, by the way, it was made obviously on a Mac. It was made in iWeb on OS X Snow Leopard. However, you can get to it in Windows because it is a published website. Let me just show you now. Just put in j800r.tk. Now that is my domain, but it does redirect you. So occasionally it might take a second or two to load it up because it's hosted using Dropbox, as I say, Dropbox Public. So it's it can sometimes take a minute to load up. You see blank screen at first. You see it loaded the domain, and then soon after it loads that. And apparently I've got 23 hits. Is that not too bad? It could be better though, considering how long it's been on. But you see all of this. You see it loads up via the j800r.tk domain. However, it's you have to excuse me. I'm having a lot of brain fasting at the moment. It's hosted on OpenBox. However, you don't have to put in any obscure URL. The URL for my website is j800r.tk, and as you can see, that brings you straight here. Now, normally there'll be a welcome video here, but it's not working here for the same reason as this is basically telling you. Please note that you need quick time to view the welcome video. If you're viewing this page on a Mac, you already have it, which is, you know, pretty accurate. And that's embarrassing for a video I'm making. I've noticed a typo on my own website here, which I'll have to edit, as I say, so that hopefully will be gone by the time you browse to this, if you do. But yeah, as I say, that's pretty accurate. If you have a Mac, you know, as I say, then going onto my website and stuff, this intro video will load up straight away. But because it's in QuickTime format, you need QuickTime, you need a QuickTime browser plugin, and you can get it from there. I posted a link there, as I say, to download it. Now, if you're viewing it in Internet Explorer, well, for starters, God help you. God help you. As I say, I mean, like I said, I have no problem with Windows and stuff, but if you're running, why are you running Windows Internet Explorer when pretty much every single web browser, especially mainstream, but every single web browser out there nowadays pretty much is better than Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer is also the most commonly attacked in terms of malware, virus, or whatever, the most commonly attacked web browser. It's, you know, the one where you're the least secure. I've heard rumours that there's problems with it. There's, you know, controversy with it not conforming to typical web standards as well, often. However, because it's, you know, a monopoly web browser, you know, because it's part of a monopoly OS, when people normally develop their websites, one of the first things they'll do is test that it works on Internet Explorer. Of course, there are some companies and some, you know, website coders that will code it and test if it works on Internet Explorer, but they won't test it on other web browsers, and they'll say, you need Internet Explorer for this, or, you know, Internet Explorer is recommended. Please test your, you know, site on all web browsers, you know, all mainstream web browsers at least, and at least make sure it works on most. Don't recommend people to use Internet Explorer. You know, I'm sorry, but this is not fanboyism or anything, because 90% probably at least of Windows PC users who know their stuff, who are worth their salt, will tell you the same. Internet Explorer is the worst web browser you could be using, the most dangerous you could be using, and, you know, just don't go there. As I say, I have it open here, but I'm in a virtual machine here. B, I'm on a Mac, so even if I was in boot camp, if I did happen to pick something up, you know, it would only harm the boot camp partition. I could just erase that partition, go full OS 10, and then just reinstall it some other time if I really wished it. Plus, I don't really use the web within Windows, it's for my gaming. Also, with this little update thing here, I may well install Safari, which is now the default browser and what I'm using on OS 10. I may install Safari within Windows and use that. But yeah, as you can see, basically that's how to browse my site, and then you've got your tabs at the top here, the welcome, the about me page, which will basically just give you various information about me. There's the follow me on Twitter section, where I have a little Twitter widget which will give you information, you know, which will basically show you some of my most recent tweets. That is in the hope that you will follow me, because I don't want random people, you know, who watch my YouTube videos or whatever, or I don't know, to be adding me on Facebook, because that's personal. That's, you know, my personal account. But Twitter, my Twitter is the official J800R, you know, Twitter account. It's not as personal. I don't mind people following me on there. As I say, if you need to drop me a line as well, there's a email me link here. As I say, any questions and the likes can be sent to it. I don't mind. However, no spam, please. As we say, we've got the Thought Stream tab as well, which basically contains my personal blog. Now, if you thought some things in this video were controversial, I should warn you, my blog is highly controversial. It, basically, it's in my own words, it's, basically, as it says here, it's a thought stream. It's my current stream of thought, my thoughts as they occur. Constant word vomit, is very controversial. It is my personal views, my personal opinions, my personal feelings at that particular time. And basically not everyone's going to like it. But just look at it as that, view it as that, just my personal feelings, as I say, that I'm just happen to be typing out there. As I say, I don't do it to entertain you guys, I do that mostly for me. Like if you keep a personal diary and stuff, you won't let anyone see. You do that for you. This is not private, but it is still done mostly for me. Anyway, to move on quickly, the last tab is the YouTube tab. Now, in the first revision, you could say the Alpha 1 of my website, I basically had embedded, a set of more recent, nice recent YouTube videos and stuff, but getting all that positioned, sized right, and just adding the new ones as it came along, I just felt to be too much of an headache. I didn't want to edit that page every time I upload a new video either. So now, if we look, should say, wait for it to load again, as I said, because it's pulling it from Dropbox, which you can probably see here. There we go. It's using an RSS feed now, basically. It's my personal feed of the videos I upload. So as you'll see here, it will give you the date of the upload, the time, the title of the video, which will also link to the video on YouTube where you can watch it, and the video description. It also give a little more information below it as well. So pretty much, yeah, that's my website, as I say. So for your Windows people, there's no excuse, you can still view it as well. Obviously the welcome video is the only thing. You're going to need QuickTime for that, but otherwise the rest of the site will work fine. Mac users, you can view the welcome video right off the bat. So yeah, let's give that a little close. I'm really sorry that I've just not got that much to show you on here at the moment. All I've got is games, and I can't really show you them because whereas my Mac has enough power to run them if it's booted into Windows natively, I don't think screen recording plus running the game within parallels within a virtual machine while OS X is running as well, and some OS X programs, I don't think that's going to work. One thing as well, though, a shout out to Parallels that I've been trying out, and the likes, as I say, I'm playing around with. Basically, to look at it here for the occasional pop-up notification that comes up, to look at it, you just think I'd be running a genuine Windows PC or whatever. However, if I was to do this is how I've got it set up, and this is so much fun, which is going to be good for doing, I've showed it in one of the videos before, but it's going to be good for doing reviews of software that are available on both platforms. So I can show it on both platforms, but if we look, if I happen to want to switch back into the OS X environment now, all I have to do is a couple of keystrokes like this, And what do we have it? OS 10. I mean, that's almost like a direct side-by-side comparison as well. And great time machines running, which Paolo's starting to tell me now, so there's going to be a little performance hit probably. Let's go back. Yes, please don't show me that again. I've already seen it. Anyway, pretty much that's about all I can really tell you at the moment. You know, I just wanted to do a video within Windows to basically let you Windows guys know I haven't forgotten you. I will do some videos within the Windows environment at some point as well when I feel there's something worthy of covering. Unfortunately, I did a lot of videos in Windows, you know, when I first started out, and I've not really seen that there's been that much of a development, you know, anything new, noteworthy of reviewing that's Windows specific. New video coming up soon, maybe tomorrow, but hopefully before the weekend, you know, before the next weekend, a video review on the new Seismic Desktop 2, which runs through Silverlight, by the way. Now, here's something I'm a fan of with Microsoft, is their Silverlight technology, where it's been buggy in some areas, little desktop apps like that. It seems to really do well in, as I say, but as I say, I should hopefully be reviewing that app pretty soon. And so I can wrap this video up, because I don't have access to the stop in here, I'm going to switch back to OS 10 again. And basically we're going to wrap it up there, because I honestly cannot think of much more to, you know, say within my minimal Windows environment at the moment. So this is J800R. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.